Well, hello everyone, and welcome into the live stream. This is Susan for SLC Aquatics coming to you live from the office. Where is it playing at? I got to find it. There it is. Okay. Had too many tabs open. Oh, I thought I had it all together. I want to say hello to everyone. Levi was here, Levi's Aquatics was here, and Jeremy and Mystery Snail Gardens, helping you snail it from the start. I love it. Bunny Viper, she says she'll be back. And Daryl Deemer, hey friend, how are you doing tonight? Also, Tanked Aquatics, good evening and good to have you with us tonight. Who else has come in? Lady Diane. Hello, Lady Diane. And Paul McCarthy. How are you all doing tonight? Hmm, we see you. Yes, it was playing in the background, so I had to close every tab I had open to find the culprit. And the culprit was my very first tab that was open on another window. I want to say hi to Foxy's Fishes. Hi, sweetheart. How are you doing tonight? And Vanoski's Fish Kodo. How are you doing tonight? And let's see. Did I say Dragon Lair? Hi, Patrick of Dragon Lair. I didn't know if I said hi or not. And if I missed you, forgive me. This is a lady that will soon have another birthday. So I'm going to open up a couple tabs here, but I'm going to play with y'all first. I'm going to switch my camera so y'all can see the behind the scenes activity of what's going on in my office. I do have dual monitors and I have a bunch of junk on my desktop. And don't touch this pile over here because I know exactly what's in that pile. Well, I used to. But anyway, welcome to the live stream tonight. We're going to discuss guppies. Um, the newsletter went out, and I'm going to try to pull up these tabs again. Um, so give me a few seconds. Say hello to each other. Show love for love, and don't forget to click like. And if you haven't subscribed and you would like to see more um, information from my channel, you can subscribe. Okay, I'm closing that one. I don't think. Okay, that's it for right now. Who else came in? Dave Farrell came in. Hey, Dave, how are you doing? And I'm going to add this to the live stream. Probably going to go here. This is the newsletter that came out, I believe, on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember what day I released it on. And it is our January, February edition. And of Happy New Year and all that. Best wishes to those that are getting new starts, having new resolutions, having new goals that they may have set for the new year. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to discuss guppies tonight because from this newsletter, a friend of mine who used to be active in the fish fam community, he follows other groups on Facebook. And so there was a question that came up about albino guppies that has color in it. Are they really albino? And another question was, what are Moscow guppies? And what are Japan or Japanese blue, Japan blue guppies? And I didn't do much research on the Japan because I ran out of time and got tired. Hey, FishyMod64, welcome to the live stream. And oh, I am going to have to pop out that chat. But I can, oh, Kenny, Dannykin Aquatics came in. Hey, Kenny E. He's a member. And also, if you'd like to be a member of Susan for SLC Aquatics YouTube channel, there are two levels. There's a $1.99, what I call the fry level, and there's a $3.99, which I call the juvenile level. So, no perks really at this time. I still have some magnets running around. So if you want to join as a member and send me your mailing address, I'll be glad to put a magnet in the mail for you. So the questions are, since when did albinos get color? Is it correct to call these albino? So that's I think it is a derogatory type statement because albino, to me, even in the human race, is the absence of color or the um, what is the pigment, the ability to have pigments. But anyway, the other question is, I thought albino meant absence of color. And do you think that they are doing genetic manipulation other than standard selective breeding? Of course. When you have glowfish, when you have these vibrant, um, deep, rich colors in a fish that normally has iridescent colors in them, there's some genetic manipulation going on. But I don't know if there's an article out there yet that actually confirms that or not. Tanked Aquatics says Leucism is a wide variety of conditions that result in the partial loss of pigmentation in an animal, and also known as, I don't know if Leucism is the same as albinism or not, but we're going to discuss that, and I'm going to pull up the IFGA website, which also discusses what they accept as being albino. And I do have a Word document that I would like to open if I can find it. And I took this information from a website called Nature, Nayturr. And this article was written on January the 14th, 2022. Hey, Degenerate Fish Keeper Jason, how are you doing? Who else did I miss? Fishymon. I said hi to Fishymon. And Dee Dee. Dee Dee's Fin Den is in here. Albino is basically the absence of melanin. Is that how you say it? And Dragon Lair says red and yellow is not affected by the gene. See, I've got a lot of scientists and a lot of knowledgeable people in the chat, and I love that. So I'm going to put, I'd like to put that information on hold and share it on the screen here in a few seconds. This one here, Tanked Aquatic, says albinism is the congenital absence of any pigmentation. Very good. Also, he says leucism is a wide variety of conditions that result in the partial loss of pigmentation in an animal. Another good point. Dragon Lair says albino is basically the absence of melanin or melanin. Red and yellow is not affected by the gene. Very good information. Also, in guppies, okay, and in other fish, because we know that the albino bristlenose pleco is nothing more than a color morph or lack of color from the brown bristlenose pleco, which I don't have the L number right now. But albino guppy is derived from a genetic condition called albinism. And individuals appear white due to the lack of melanin, like Dragon Lair said, melanin pigments in the body. Completely white with pink shades around the face with dark pink or red eyes. And most of us know if you have no pigmentation in your eyes, that's considered albino. But the question that was raised in the group is how can an albino guppy, hi Atkins, how can an albino guppy have color in it? Because they thought albino basically means the absence of color. So I'm going to go over to this website if I can manipulate without losing things. And I'm going to go to the member section of the ifga.org. I'm trying to remember. Let's go to the library. There we go. All right. Raising albino guppies. Okay, I'm going to share this on the screen, and I hope I don't get in trouble with the organization. But this is a members only section. And contrary to many printed articles that are out there about breeding albinos, I'm going to read some of it. By definition, it is a guppy with a red eye. The caudal the caudal and the dorsal fin can be of any color. So let me go back to chat and see what chat is saying. Hey, Skippers Aquariums, welcome to the live stream. Discus Talk, Tammy, hi. Welcome to the live stream, sweetheart. Let's see. Anybody else saying anything else about albinism or leucism? Melanin is usually brown or black pigment. Okay. It can't, in my opinion, Tanked says. If it has pigment, it is Leucism, not albinism. So as always, Tanked Aquatics, there has been mislabeling or miscategorizing of the guppy. It shouldn't be considered albino, but like other things, we get used to calling things certain things and we get used to it. Hi, Eric Wyrock. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get to Moscow guppies tonight because the albinism is something that I think the experts are calling anything with a pink or red eye albino in the breeds. But as Tanked Aquariums or Aquatics, said, it should not be labeled as that. Dragon Lair says, I'm going to put this on the screen. There are at least two types of albinism, T plus and T minus. And I see that's some new information for me. Dragon Lair explains the T plus albinism can have yellow and sometimes red and orange. And just like I said, Atkins Nature Aquarium says, I have a lot of albino bristlenose, which I think of albino. It has no melanin and red eyes. And that's what I think general hobbyists consider being albino. Tammy says with discus, if both parents are albino, the entire batch is considered albino because they carry the genetics for it. Okay. So there goes the scientific uh, categorizing of what albino is. Tammy thinks, or she personally disagrees with breeders labeling non albino as albino. That's true, because I have purchased something considered albino that had a black eye. And I said, this is not albino. Tanked Aquatic says, fascinating topic for sure. Yeah, I'm going to thank Ken for this. um, Melanin pronounced Melanin. Thank you, Tanked Aquatics, because I will, being a Southerner, give it different accents. Um, you just wish that you could keep guppies. You must have water that doesn't. What is the purpose, or why can't you keep guppies? Probably water. But anyway, since the article's been on the screen for a while, let's skip around. Um, this article was written by Ed Richmond of the IFGA, which is the International Fancy Guppy Association. He acquired its present line, which have taken several Best of Show awards, a little over 3 years ago at a South Jersey Guppy Group meeting. Each year, the members pick two color lines of guppies, which the club members agree upon. The fish are then purchased from one of the current top breeders of that color. In return, a member of the club will raise the fish and return trios of the first and second drop, the F1, F2s, of fry for the SJGG club members. Okay, so let's get down to some information. Inbreed the albinos for 2 or 3 generations before going back to the above cross, which I skipped over. Gold red females. I know that a gray or dark female will not give you albinos. You must have a gold or a yellow female. And Tank says he has very soft water and low pH. I had a feeling that's what your reason was, but I didn't want to assume. But thank you for answering that. Lady Diane says albino carrier would be a better description. Um, we'll accept that, but when you're breeding, we need more technical labels for our guppies and our fish that are true albino, true absent of any color, and they can be white or like Dragon Lair said, a yellowish or a golden white body, but the to me the coloration should be uniformed and the eyes must be pink or red. And Atkins says yes. If I breed albino with a normal gene fish, then I usually just call them HET albino, and what we can call them is oh, I had a term, hybrid albinos, which means they just carry the albino gene but don't show the albinism. I agree with that. Tammy says at Discus Talk, I call them albino cross simply because they aren't albino. And I think anytime that you breed a pure strain, which what is really pure? A lot of times albinism is a defect, what we call it, defect from the imperfection of the color crosses that we were trying to get. But we call them hybrids, just like guppy and endler. You can't call this a guppy and you can't call it an endler because the body's too long and the caudal fin is too large for an endler. And so we have to call them guppy hybrids or endler hybrids. Um, and I think, like in human races, whatever the father is the dominant, usually the dominant genetic, because the male in guppies are the ones who portray the most color, but the female can have a subdominant gene in it that carries a swordtail gene instead of a caudal fin gene. So you can get into a lot of scenarios here. Then I've never seen an albino guppy. Thank you. Very good. Let's look at a real albino guppy. Let me see if I can pull it up in my documents. This one, we may argue on this, but this one is an albino with a red eye, what they call the gold or yellow body. And the fin of these guppies are one solid color. Now, her dorsal fin is not matching her caudal fin. So this to me would not be a good breeder. And the most common colors include blue, yellows, and reds. Now, the blue would come from a different pigmentation combination between the yellow and the reds. It is a dominant or a subdominant color of the yellows and the reds. Although some blacks have also been found due to breeding. Okay, now I've never found a black show up in an albino strain, but I could be proven wrong. I've had koi tuxedo guppies throw albino kois, and they were cool, but couldn't get the albino guppies to breed. That to me would have been the example of what I was talking about of when you're line breeding, you're inbreeding, and then you just breed the pigmentation out of a strain, and then the accident or the genetic burnout. I don't know what else to call it. You burn out the color genetics, and to where there are no more genetics left. Now, it doesn't mean that those, in that case, Atkins, I would say those guppies were absent of a lot of important uh, genetics within the DNA of their makeup from wherever the parents and the line kept inbreeding and inbreeding and inbreeding to where you got albinoism and sterile. They were sterile. They couldn't reproduce. And that happens with hybrids a lot of times. Hello, Master Aquatics. Just called me Eduardo. My heart still goes out to you. We're loving you and praying for you, and we pray that the family is being comforted at this time. We're discussing albinism in guppies and other fish. Might have to rewind a little bit to catch up on some of the good information that has come out. But let's go back to this article that I found from Nature. Just like the name implies, this type of guppy is all white, and it even has a soft pink color around its face and soft pink or red eyes. In fact, there can actually be tints of other colors all throughout the albino guppy, but most of its body is colored in white. You're welcome, Eduardo. Um, they get this way because there's a lack of black pigmentation, melanin, in their bodies. And just like Dragon Lair was discussing, there's a T plus and a T negative. There's, well, I need to go back. I should have left that starred. Um, that's a new feature in StreamYard. Now this is what Tank said. And Tank also said this. And where is Dragon Lair? I'm gonna have to come down. I passed it. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Y'all forgive me just for a few seconds. Um, okay, here's where Dragon Lair, excuse me, he said albino is basically the absence of melanin, red and yellow. It's not affected by the gene. And then he explains. Oh, tanked, I missed that one. I know this from owning sugar gliders. Interesting. I don't know what a sugar glider is. Um, and again, Dragon Lair, I lost your comment. So if you want to repeat it, because I'm just wasting time here. And I want to get back to the article. Okay, here's one that says melanin, usually brown or black pigment. Okay, but I don't know where. There it is. Tanked. There are at least two types of albinism, the T plus and the T minus. And I know that Tank talked about Leucism, which is a wide variety of conditions that result in partial loss of pigmentation. So, like I said, we've been having some good discussions here. And then this is what Tammy at Discus talked about the entire batch being considered albino because it carries the genetics for it, but it may not be manifesting. And she also agreed or personally disagreed with breeders labeling non-albino as albino. Yeah, to me, if they don't have a pink and a red eye, even though they're carrying the gene, you cannot call them albino. But if you're selling it for high quality breeding, you do have to let the purchaser know what genetics are in that fish. Just because it may not be manifesting the gene, this came from an albino batch of colony guppies, and so therefore, I would say we need to call it a hybrid albino. Interesting. We do need to pay attention to how we label our fish. Atkins says, yeah, that's part of the reason I don't like guppies anymore, but that's just me. Too many inbred, and it's too much to line breed properly. That's true because you end up culling so many different fish, even if you buy from reputable breeders. But there are standards within different organizations. I know there's more than one organization, besides the International Fancy Guppy Association. I know that. But those organizations um, pay strict attention and they have standards within their hobby that when you're breeding your fish, you really do need to document what male went with what female, what fry they produced, um, F1, F2 generations, etc. And then when you get to losing what you want to breed, and then you bring a crossbreed or you breed, I can't remember the terms now. You outsource another fish that may bring different genetics completely. Dragon Lair here is saying the normal X albino give normal babies carrying the gene for albino, thus heterophilic for albino, called HET for albino. Okay, that's what he said. He calls them HET albinos. Albino is a recessive gene, and it takes 2 copies of that gene to express in the phenotype. Thank you, Dragon Lair. Boy, this is some good info here tonight. I hope it's not over most of our heads because I find it interesting. Okay, Tanked is telling me that a sugar glider is an Australian marsupial flying squirrel. Very demeaning and smelly. So they must have very strong um, scent sacs. Uh, Atkins says that's what he calls the albino X normal gene plecos, the HET albino bristlenose. Yeah, I'm bringing that together now. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting all this information. Ed Waters um, said, I and my younger brother passed away a few weeks ago, and we were notified 2 days ago. But we are all keeping it together. God bless you, Eduardo. You are in our prayers. Um, Tanked Aquatics says it appears the MC1R gene in guppies is responsible. See, that's more knowledge than what I have, but still it's good information. Hello, Melvin Reef. Welcome to the live stream. Master Aquatics says, Susan, I agree. If they don't have the eye coloration, they're not true albinos. Yes, I agree with that. Thank you for agreeing. But it's okay to disagree tonight, too. Lefty 3213A. Hello, Lefty. Did I miss you? Hi, Lefty. Welcome to the live stream. I see you. Hey, y'all. Sorry I'm late. There you are. Okay. Um, of course, Atkins is giving condolences to Eduardo, and we support you, brother. And if you need anything, you let us know. Most definitely. Um, the MC1R plays a crucial role in controlling melanin synthesis in mammals and birds. High activity of MC1R leads to the synthesis of black, wow, how am I going to say that? Eumelanin, 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 whereas low activity leads to reddish field melanin. I think I'm saying it correctly. We got some scientists in here, guys. Thank you all so very much. Hey, Holly, Frankie Fish Lady, how are you doing? I'm a few minutes behind in the chat. Sorry. And she's lurking and cleaning. Okay. Atkins says I have my F1 generation from a guppy cross still, but I don't have tank space to keep any F2s to separate them. Got you. And then Dragon Lair says tanked. There are, I don't know what that is, ALLELES. that are responsible for turning on or off color genes. That's interesting. A T plus albino has alleles that still turn on the yellow or red or both. I love this. This is good. Geek Boy Charles is in the house. Welcome to the live stream. I'm just 4 minutes behind. Exactly, Patrick. Crown Tail Half Moon is in the house. Welcome to the live stream. Um, I'm going to take a break here in a few minutes, guys, and get back to we're going to get back to the newsletter, I think. Patrick, I can tell. Thank you for sharing your expertise. Yes, is Dragon Lair and Tank have us going tonight. I appreciate it. And of course, Tammy is telling Edwardo, adding the family to her prayers. Tanked Aquatics says, this is good. Black pigmentation is produced by melanin synthesis, which involves many genes. The coding sequence of one of these genes, uh, melanocortin 1 receptor, is the MC1R, and it is reported to contain variations that are associated with melanin pigmentation polymorphism. And see, this is good because albinism, we say, is the absence of pigmentation. But breeders sell blue albinos, red albinos, black albinos. The I had a small colony of the albino koi. Oh, there's another one. Anyway, they were the red albino koi guppies. And when I was closing my fish room down 2 years ago, I sold them to a fish keeper, but in their water, they all crashed. They didn't survive. Tanked Aquatic says, I'm scienced out. Can't overwhelm Susan. Yeah, we're going to take a break because my brain is like a sponge and it's absorbing all of this wonderful information. I really in school wanted to get into to chemistry and genetics and all of that, and I got sick as a child and missed too much of the course, and so the office suggested that I change classes. So let's see. I want to catch up. Dragonlair says that Tanked has a better understanding of the basic genes. I forget the gene numbers that are involved. Okay. We'll work together. That's what we need to do. Lady Diane says, and Tanked, I have never seen a described albino for sale without the foundation guppy strain being attached after albino. That's a good point. Lori came in. Monster Fish Gal. Hey, Lori, welcome to the live stream, sweetheart. And if I'm missing anyone, forgive me. Welcome to the live stream. Eduardo says, Susan, we had no idea Tom and Patrick were so prolific on albinism. LOL. I know it. This is awesome. I mean, this is what the hobby needs. We need information. We need knowledgeable resources. And um, Discus Talk Tammy is really, I don't know if this part of resources is what she's looking for, but we have experienced knowledge within the fish hobby that a lot of times gets overlooked because the not the right question is asked. But yes, this is wonderful. And we are misled. I want to welcome the Southscaper in the stream tonight and the Zen Ginger. She's in the house to join as a member. Thank you so much. Lady Diane says tanked truth, but another topic. Thank you for your I know she meant genetic knowledge. Yes, and please hit that like button. And I need to minimize this and um, get back to the newsletter just briefly, because stuff like this, I think, needs to go in the hashtag FishFam Community newsletter. And I would like, right now, I'm doing a bi-monthly newsletter. And I would like to end up doing a monthly newsletter. And I can, if the community, the Fish Fam community, the Fish Tubers community will share articles and information. And I would like to uh, invite Dragon Lair and Tanked Aquatics to maybe get together and do an article together on the genetics of albinism, melanin, Leucism, etc., and the DNA tracers that goes with the genetics of pigmentation. I think this is an awesome article. I wonder if this science should be based on the research of the blind cave fish. I know there's a lot of great information. And Dragonlair said, Eduardo, when you've kept and bred so many reptiles, birds, fish, and mammals in your life, you have to pick up on all this information. But Dragonlair, you don't pick up on it if you're not introduced to it. And topics like this is what stirs up the knowledge that's lying dormant. And then like when I was researching albinism, I didn't even get that far into the genetics of it. I was just listening to a lay members type uh, explanation. Does anyone know if I bred? Okay, let me put this on the screen. Does anyone know if I bred a super red bristlenose with an albino, would I get brown or 50-50 super red and albinos, or do the colors mix like a red and white pattern? Atkins, according to some knowledge that I've heard others, you end up getting the more dominant pigmentation, which would be the brown. Okay, the super red bristlenose. Okay, I don't know the genetics of the super red. I don't think you get a mixture of the red and white pattern. I think that you would get 50% red and 50% albinos. That's my answer. And then Eduardo says, "Oh, I 100% with you, Patrick. You and I both have had many species of animals and aquatic life over the past 45 years, but I had no idea you had this knowledge." And then Atkins, "Are you given the answer? Genetics are huge for reptiles from the research I've done on them. I can't keep up with the ball pythons these days." And that's another topic I would like to bring up because on Thursdays, Diego at Petsotics and I do a series of bringing the fish and the reptile hobbyists together. And this Thursday, we have Jeremy of Wallaffles Morphs. He'll be with us on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss it. Because Adam, 2 weeks ago, was talking about the morphs that goes on in those ball pythons. Okay, Sal says you would get a mix of colors. Iron, they would be normal colored, for example, brown. Ian, you do it and let us watch the process. Hi, Levi. Welcome. Can't stay. Sorry. That's okay. Thank you. Off topic, but I am now nanofish geeked out. Two new species of freshwater gobies in the Rhinogobus family found in the Philippines. Explain. Um, Not a pattern, but a mix of reds, albinos, and browns. Maybe other. Hmm. And Lefty says, "Welcome to the Nano Club." And let me see. Is there an answer? Is there an answer? Dragon Lair, I won't discuss the size of my bogies with comparing them to yours. Okay. Welcome back, DD. Okay. Atkins says, thanks. I'm not sure what to expect. The dad is albino. The mom is super red. When I've bred albino and brown's normal gene, I got the 50-50 mix. That's what I thought. But let's see what the internet says. It's probably not going to give me any information. Okay, more often than not, two albinos will make only albinos. The only way they would not is if there is more than one albino gene involved. Two browns could make albinos if both parents have a recessive albino gene. 25% would be albino in this scenario. Same for brown and albino. Where the brown parent has a recessive albino gene, you'll get 50% albino. Um, the albino gene has gotten very common with the bristlenose plecos, so a lot of the brown ones have the recessive. But this one's not answering our question, so goodbye. So back to the chat. Lady Diane says, okay, I have an albino calico bristlenose that mated with my lemon blue eye. I have mostly calico and a couple lighter color brown. That's it out of 50. Interesting. Interesting. I like that. Melvin says that's neat. Tanked Aquatics. Very cool. Nano fish from the Philippines, the country of my baby loves wing. Reef vlog. Okay. Dragon Lair says Ian or Ian. That means the brown was HET for albino. Very, very interesting. Don't forget super chats, super stickers, join button. Um, I'm showing you the newsletter. And if you have not received your newsletter, check your spam folders if you've signed up. If you would like to sign up for the hashtag FishFam Community newsletter, go to slc-aquatics.org/blog. Scroll down to the bottom, and that's where the newsletter registration is. Or you can wait for the pop-up to show on the screen and just sign your email up, and I tag everybody newsletter. Hey, Stephen P. 2003 Aquatics. Welcome to the live stream. And Brizzle's here. Hey, Brizzle. Bunny Viper. What's Brizzle painting? Mystery Snail Guardians. A lot of people's business mislabeled chestnut mystery snails. Okay, this is another one. This is another species that we're talking about. Colors, pigmentation. They mislabel the chestnut mystery snails as albino because they have a light foot and they assume it's albino. And that's another situation right there. I missed what Patrick said. Yes. Okay. And Atkins came back and said, yes, Patrick, I call the brown ones HET albino. And I'm guessing the albinos in that batch are carrying the normal gene, but don't express that gene. So are they HET brown? How would you know? You would have to test, wouldn't you? Bunny Viper has a question, guys. What company sells you the exact wood or rocks in their pics? I can't remember. Thanks, guys. I do know Aquarium Co-op does, and I don't know of anyone else, Bunny Viper. He thought I typed it wrong, but I just read it to myself wrong. Okay. South Scraper says, makes sense with the albino genes being more prominent or what we call dominant in the gene. I want my 50% albino, Lady Diane says. Maybe you have a 25% submissive or subdominant gene. And if you breed with another albino, you might start getting some albinos. Got to add that gene in there into the math. Thanks, Patrick. This is all really confusing, but I think I'm grasping the gist of it. Mystery Snail Guardian says Bunny Viper. Is it 123 Colorado or something like that? And then, of course, Lori is sharing my PayPal. Thank you for the Carver family. That is Catfish Terry. And Dragon Lair says tanked. Blind cavefish are not albino. They are colorless because of evolution in a dark environment. The photosynthesis of the pigmentation melanin cannot be performed where there is no sun. Is that correct? Or no light? Is that correct? I'm asking. Have you tried using a Punnett square to figure out what the offspring percentages might be? Wow, y'all are over my head. What in the world is a Punnett square? I gotta find out. Gotta find out. All right, now I know. Now I know. There we go. Here we go, guys. This is a Punnett square. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love education. I love information. Um, Southscaper says, I thought anything that's called albino has to have red eyes, otherwise it's leucistic. See? True. We've discussed that. But they're talking about HET albino. We're talking about the T plus and the T minus and the MC1R gene that's within the pigmentation of the fish or the animal. Oh, this is fun, guys. I'm running out of time. Is there anybody streaming after me? Is Alex streaming? Is Ed picking up cichlids? Hey, Joseph Stanley, lurking, cooking dinner, yum, yum, yum. Does anybody know Darlene's Tanks? Today is her birthday, and I want to take a moment and say, Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Darlene. Happy birthday to you, and many more. I should, so I need to know if I can go over the hour. It was an accidental test run. I'm breeding lemon blue eyes and longfin to cross. They take forever to grow, but I finally have a male. Very good. Yes, it takes forever. Eduardo says, I'm glad I can still fit my jeans from 30 years ago. Those are the only jeans I prefer. Oh, and I can't. Adkins says to Patrick, I'm not sure about the super reds, but all the albinos I have are bred from my first pleco spawn of Albino X albino. I got 100% albino bristlenose from them. That's excellent. That is excellent. Some are smarter than me. Aren't we all? Okay, albino is recessive. I'm calling it subdominant, but recessive is what I need to get my terms correct. Thank you, Dragon Lair. It pops up in every species on Earth, but two creatures that mate have to both carry one gene for it to show up in the babies. Thank you. And the same thing in guppies when you are trying to get the snakeskin pattern or the cobra patterns, we know that both parents have to carry that recessive gene in order to produce snake skins, because my yellow colony from line breeding, eventually they were the I can't remember the name of the yellow guppy, but it starts with an M. And anyway, I'm going to scroll to the bottom right quick to see if anybody answered my question. Is anyone going live tonight after me? Is Alex live? Let me see. Yep, Alex is live, so I won't go long tonight, but we can pick this up at another time. And I also want to get into the Moscow guppies and the Japanese blue guppies. And the other two questions that my friend asked was, what are Moscow and Japan guppies? And number three, the big question is, Why are all these beautiful guppies coming from outside of the US or Europe? I don't want to start an international guppy war, but I've looked at the top US breeders and sellers, and I don't find anything to compare to the beauty of the Asian Pacific guppies. And that's true. Um, on Facebook, you will see some awesome, awesome, um, awesome guppies. So I'm going to close this, and but Alex has been streaming for 24 minutes, and I do not see a stream scheduled on Ed's channel. Okay. And I had a true albino uncle, pink eyes and everything. And now those albinos have been raising are breeding, and they also produce 100% albinos. I have albino bristle nose everywhere. LOL. Dee Dee says Alex is live. Thank you, Dee Dee. I appreciate that. Yes, Alex is live, and I'm going to go over there, and he has Yelka McColey using blockchain technique to save the environment, the Green Earth Alliance. Wow. I'm going to put this in chat. So if y'all want to, you can go over there and listen in and participate. That is just awesome. Um, yeah, it's not a mutant. No, not a mutant. um, gee golly. Um, that's terrible. Oh, Micariff, Micariff. But everybody, thank you for being with us tonight. I've truly, truly enjoyed this. I want to also um, invite everybody over to Pet Sodics on Thursday, and our special guest will be um, um, Warfels Jeremy from Warfels Morphs, and it is bringing the fish and reptile hobbyists together, episode 3, and it starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. So again, thank you everyone for being with me tonight. I've enjoyed this so much. Dragon Lair and Tanked Aquatics, we need to get together and get a nice article written or a live stream going to finish the subject on albinism, leucistic genetics, and the anyway, all of this is just blowing my mind, and I'm loving it, and I'm hungry for it. Thank you, Susan. You made discussion in our house over dinner interesting. I am so happy. Catch y'all later. We thank you. And again, this is Susan for SLC Aquatics. Hashtag Fish Fan Mom. Touching lives one fish at a time. Love you. See you next time.